Yo, what's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Jan Moses. We are back with the first Broth Talk. I don't know. Harry and I have to work on the branding for it. We're gonna work on that later because we've been working through a lot of audio issues. The last like 30 plus minutes of us talking have been us troubleshooting different ways to get the audios to work on my end because I think my laptop's just really not meant for this, but we're trying to make do with what we have, and we're gonna try to make this recording work as best we can. So if there are any audio issues, I apologize. I'm gonna try to work on a fix um, tomorrow, which is gonna be the day of season two's launch. With that said, though, I already mentioned him. Gonna pass it on over to my co-host, gracious enough to give a little bit of his time this evening to talk to us. Harry, how are you, my friend?
First off, I feel like Sam from iCarly right now. Broth talk. The only times you do a broth pod, the only times you do pods are with me. So I feel like maybe you shouldn't get all the credit in the name, but but no, it's great to be back on the podcast. I can't believe it's the first podcast all season. I mean, like it's the end of season one. We this whole time we've been talking throughout the entire season. Text, you can hear me, right? I just
I
have to
can.
make
I can.
sure.
You are good. You are good. I promise.
Beautiful. I have PTSD, but
I don't blame you.
yeah, no, in a way, I'm kind of happy we did it now because I mean, Jen, we could even talk about it briefly. Me personally, and maybe more than you, I've gone through so many changes in how I've felt about 2K. Day one, I had like a burst of like adrenaline. I loved the game. I thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Jen and I had like a therapeutic conversation with them, like maybe a weekend in where I was like, this game is terrible. What have I been doing?
Wait, hold
I
on,
was like,
hold
they
on, hold
got me
on, hold
again.
on. Harry, I want to pinpoint the exact moment that I think it happened, and you tell me if I'm wrong. So, just to peel back the curtain, Harry,
I
how
thought you were
many.
saying I cut out. Oh my
No, no,
god. You
dude,
can't
you're
do that
great.
to me
You're
like
good. Okay, but you just pulled out. You pulled a joke on me earlier.
I
You pulled that prank on me. Okay, turnaround's
You're
fair
right.
play or whatever that phrase is. So Harry had finished the original, or not the original, current domination within the first week or so of the game, and then by that second weekend, he was devising all these different elaborate schemes, like hiring like hitmen from Russia to come and take out Jerry West in all time or era's domination, whatever it's called. Um, and there was a point where Harry, I think, had finally beaten them, and then I had told him, and again, Harry, correct me if I'm wrong. I had told you that Tim Duncan had a 48 three-pointer, and it was like that moment where your eyes
But,
became wide
you
open.
know, and it's not even like there's many things. I don't want to harp on this, but I will add there's many things that go into it. One, it's not like I'm bragging about Tim Duncan and you just brought it up. Like you had brought it up as if I already knew. You know what I mean? This wasn't supposed to be this
Yeah.
game changing
Yes.
surprise. And also, the thing was like Era's domination might have been my least favorite grind, and I love domination, and that's why I think I get so excited every year because I just like the grind for some reason. It's
Sure.
it's
Yeah.
fun. You can mindlessly play it, so I love it, and that normally is what gets me going for the beginning of the year. Gets me excited. So and then I go into Era's domination, and it's literally like I'm sweating my life away every game. I think I played that first game against the 71 Lakers like and this is including quitting in the first quarter maybe 50 plus times because it was so
Yeah.
hard. I was dealing with the Lakers playing all game, the starters, and not getting tired, Jerry West hitting threes in my face like there's no tomorrow. And it's one of those things where like I have to sweat every second of this game to win. And then all I keep thinking in my mind was, all right, at least there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm going to get a Tim Duncan who's going to be a great card that's going to be on my team, and I'm the type of player I like to ISO. I like to have 3 pointers on my team so I can 5 out. And then all of a sudden I'm talking about Tim Duncan, and I mentioned I don't even know what stats he has, but I assume he has like a 73 or no, I think we are watching like Carlo or a YouTuber shoot with them, and we're like, oh well, he's greening everything, so he's got to be good. And you were probably like, oh well, it's amazing given he has like a 43 pointer, and like I felt like the glass like breaking in my brain because it was
Yeah.
like, what? It's like
Yeah.
this is the worst grind of my life, and I'm raging that I haven't gotten this angry at 2K in years, and I'm finding out that this card will have. I still haven't played a game with him really because he has no value to me. So the whole thing was just for nothing, and I think that's when like because I think the whole time I was so optimistic about the game, and it's an optimism I haven't had in so long because I was very negative as the pods could showcase over 2K.
Yeah.
And I think I was finally having fun just because I love Dom so much that it kind of distracted me from what was going on. And I listen, as much as I hate to say that I did, I fell into that hype of 2K where I told myself I wasn't going to do it, and they got me again, where the 2K and my team hype got me excited to get the game. And Jan was like that devil on my shoulder who the whole time was being very realistic, being like, Breakout doesn't look that promising. The MT rewards suck. This auction house has so many issues. And I'm like, no, it's fine. It's all gonna work out. And I was like, this was like years ago, Harry. I felt like I was taking step backs, and then that's taking step backs. And then finally, when you told me that, it's like everything broke. I started seeing 2K the way it was, and I was like, because then I was like, after when I realized that I didn't want to play domination anymore, I was like, then what do I have to do? Because I was like, there's no rewards for online, the showdown or whatever. Like the rewards are atrocious, and then breakout the rewards are bad. So all there really was to snipe, and I was like what have I done? What have I wanted? All I've wanted was this auction house for the whole year, and now that's like all I had to do, and that's when everything started hitting me all at once, and it led to Jan and I talking for like an hour, and just really like it was the most therapeutic conversation of my life because I was realizing that they got me again. I
Yep.
accepted it, and we were just it was craziest conversation because I think I was trying so hard to hold faith in the game because I think it was just nice liking 2K because I spent the majority of 2K24 hating on it. So I think finally when it all started hitting me, it was like I couldn't believe it. I know that was such a long-winded answer, but I felt like we had to just bring that up because there's been a I've like I was saying originally, I've gone through so many changes of playing 2K this year. I think it's for the best that we're doing it now where I can give my conclusive thoughts on season 1 for both positive and negative.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, I think that's, totally fine, because we have done our own therapy sessions, like we said. And I think, yeah, this is a good time to do it with season two. I mean, as of this recording, we're recording this a little after 8:30 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday, October 17th. So we are one day away from season two tipping off in NBA 2K25. My team, what better time to do our first pod than tonight, where we're going to preview season two. But before that, we are going to share our thoughts on season one. So, our itinerary roughly for this season one review portion, we're going to give our grades, and then we're going to do a fun game where we're going to basically do a snake style draft of the different frustrations that we had in season one. And I'm going to be sharing when I give my grade some of the positives that I did like about the game because it really wasn't all negative. It was just, I think, mostly negative. And I think a lot of people probably share that same sentiment. So, with that said, Harry, I want to ask you first. And I know we
Let me
didn't.
clarify something really quickly.
Sure,
So
sure,
for
sure.
the draft, are we only speaking about the negatives?
We can talk about the positive if you want. I mean, the draft I had titled the season one frustrations draft. We could
Okay,
just
then
make it a
let's do that.
season one draft in general. If you want to give your positive, like we can make it season one reactions draft. Your top
Let's do that, and
reactions.
then I think maybe let's grade it afterwards,
Okay,
if that's
okay.
fine.
Now, would you like the first pick? And I'm asking you that only because if let's say for example you take the first pick, I would get picks two and three. You get four and five because we're gonna do it snake style. So would you like? I kind of want to give you the first pick because I feel like you've been waiting 41 days to do this podcast since the game came out. I want to give you. I mean, if you don't want the first pick, you don't have to have it. I just think that's what the people want. They want to hear, the Phil Brooks, the CM Punk of the MyTeam
Ooh, the
community
pipe
come
bomb.
out and drop a pipe bomb. So, what would you like?
Okay, I'll go first. This is gonna be crazy because there's so many different things I could say.
That's why I
I'm
love
gonna
the
begin.
the, the structure. Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I'm gonna begin with Triple Threat Park. Okay, this to
I
me,
love it. Good choice.
this is the most validating thing of my life when it comes to 2K because when this first came out, this was not one of those things where I even thought this could be a good thing. I immediately knew this was going to be terrible. And this is a mode that I love. Jan can attest. Like I was even
Yes.
thinking today, like 2K19, 20, whatever. Triple Threat was all I played. I love that game. I love 3-on-3. I love being able to ISO. Triple Threat to me is like clutch time for Jan. Like it really
Yes.
is. You know, so immediately when I saw that we were taking this mode that I love, where it's instant matchmaking, you can hop in whatever you want, and then turning it into a mode where not it's like Park and it's the same issues about Park where now you have to wait for games. You might be 4-0, people might not want to play you. Like you shouldn't have to wait for games. And I like it's funny, like I made a my player. I don't even touch Park. I play theater because I enjoy the instant matchmaking. It's 2024, there's no need to wait for games. It's just not. And then to even go further, to find out in the blog that the only way to get rewards are from going undefeated. I mean, that could be a fantasy pick of its own. I hate undefeated. And this is someone who can go undefeated. I have no problem. I've gone the 10-0 to get the box
You've
for
done
the
it
I think it was a
before.
barbecue. I've done it before. I used to go 12-0 and unlimited. I'm good with it, but it's not fun. If you think it's fun, then you're just psychotic. You like sweating in a bucket all day, and that's fine. That's your thing. So to not only take a game what I love and to make it terrible without instant matchmaking, now you have to wait for games, and now there's no point of playing it unless you're going undefeated. It's now you're turning a game mode, which should be a casual mode where you can bring your players in, chill, have fun in a 3-on-3, non-crazy 5v5 environment, and now you're forcing everybody to sweat their lives away for a 5-0 reward, which sucks anyways. It's not even worth it. You know, like it's terrible. I hate all of it. I hate playing current gen because or previous gen,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it. Like to
Mm-hmm.
me, it's like I spent so much money on a PS5. I want to play PS5. The fact that I have to play triple threat online on current gen just because I don't want to wait for games on next gen, like that's disgusting. Like that's you know what I mean? That's it's not right. It's terrible. So I hate everything about it. I hate the rewards. I hate having to go undefeated. I hate, having to wait for games. I think the whole setup is stupid. I think co-op being in the park, brilliant idea. I think that's an awesome idea where you can play with randoms, you can play with friends. I think that's a fantastic idea. But triple threat should not be in the park. Like similar to how a 1v1 mode in park, shouldn't be in the park, and that's why it's not. Because having to wait for games to play against someone, one person online, it's ridiculous. And let alone the one thing people hate about the park is how laggy it is because you're putting a park in a mode,
Yes.
like a neighborhood city with stores and quests and all these different things. Like my internet's fine. I play online showdown. I play triple threat current gen completely fine. I play a game on park. The one or two games I played, I've lagged like crazy. Like, it's unplayable. It's borderline unplayable. So to me, that's my first pick. I promise I will not rant like every single thing I mentioned, but I had to mention
No,
that.
it's okay. No, look, Harry, the whole point of this is I don't want us to just fly through the season one stuff. I still want to, talk about it because I think it's kind of good if you were to ever go back and look at these pods. I think, you could look back at the season and be like, oh, the season really wasn't all that great because there wasn't a lot of, content or whatever you want to say. There wasn't a lot of events, so on and so forth. But I think we're going to get the best look at what season one looked like going back to a pod like this where it's fresh on our minds. So I think that's
Yep.
totally fine. If you want to, add 5 minutes of context to why you don't like the triple threat park, it's totally fine. Again, this is our first pod of 2K25. Like,
Yeah.
I think we should be getting it off our chest.
Okay, good. Okay, I want to preface two things I hate about this game are breakout and taking out clutch time online, but I know those things are very important to you, so I'm going to save those two for you. I assume those are going to be your first two picks. So I'm going to talk about something different. I'm going to talk about Showdown for my second pick. This is just
Wait, hold on,
awful.
Harry,
And
wait, hold on. You had the first pick. I get the next two. Wait, whoa, whoa, whoa.
oh, 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 I might have taken. All right, so I'll let you
Yes.
break out or clutch time online. I assume one of them is coming.
So I'm gonna have the next two picks. I
Go
have a
for it.
draft board. I feel like a general manager. I made my own little draft board here. Um, I don't. I have so many of them ranked at the top. I mean, I don't really have a ton. I think I have 5 or 6 things here. Um, I want to start with because I think before I get to breakout, before I get to anything, I will say one of them right off the top. Actually, my number one pick is 100% the removal of Clutch Time Online. It just
Yep.
feels so. I don't even know what the right adjective is to describe it. It's kind of I don't want to say meaningless. I just don't know what 2K stands to gain from removing Clutch Time Online, other than to
Yeah.
frustrate the person who wants to play this game on a more casual level. So I have this my first bullet point kind of it goes in line with Clutch Time Online, and it's my main frustration with season one is it feels like 2K has put the final nail in the coffin for the casual player. Doesn't have to just be casual offline player. It could be the casual online player. And if you want to look
Yes.
at me as a
Yeah.
case study, look at what I did last year. I played a ton of triple threat offline. My Ruby Kyle Korver last year has 1,000 games played. I would say 98% of those, so like 980 of those games, were in triple threat offline. The rest were probably in clutch time offline. I grinded clutch time offline in season 3 for that pink time and Hakeem Olajuwon. I played a lot of online. I played roughly, I think, 600 to 650 clutch time online games last year, and my record was
Yeah.
really good. I talk about it a lot. I was something like 450 wins and like 130 losses, but my record in Unlimited was 2 wins and 3 losses. I refused to touch that game mode because of the time commitment. Salary cap, I played a little bit more than I played Unlimited because I liked the general structure. I liked that we could grind, every 2 weeks we had a new player that we had to grind for, and
Yep.
we don't have that this year. And so I just feel like 2K is trying to sort of shoehorn us into, you have to play, if you want to play online, you have to play Showdown, you have to play Salary Cap, or you have to go into Triple Threat Park and wait 10 minutes to find a game, like Harry was just
And
saying.
that's the thing. Let me quickly add,
Sure,
and then
sure.
this won't be a long thing.
No, no problem.
That's
Go
the
ahead.
thing. The whole point of triple threat and clutch time online is that they should be casual game modes. You should not be sweating like crazy in a 5 minute clutch time game. You should not be sweating like crazy in a 21 point triple threat game. That was the beauty of the mode, that you can have a fun time, you could chill. And that's one of my biggest gripes with it being the park and it being you have to go 5-0, because it takes out that freedom of being able to relax and play someone. You have to go undefeated, or you're wasting your time, or you're playing someone else who's 4-0 and they have to sweat their life away to go 5-0. And like, this could be a whole topic, but if you think about it, what's there to gain from it? It's probably that they're forcing us to have to sweat online, so we have to spend money to get the best players in the game.
Yup.
You know what I mean?
Yup. They don't
But
want you to be put in a position where you can kind of like win by luck. Like in a clutch time online game,
exactly
I beat
right.
so many teams that had much better players than I did just because I was able to outplay them over the course of 5 minutes. I feel like I would struggle much more had I had that same sample size of games played in clutch time online in Unlimited last year or in Showdown this year. I feel like my record would probably be closer to 500. My team is not as good, and now you're putting me with this team that's not as good in an environment where I have to play a game that's going to take me, what, 20 to 25 minutes, because each quarter is, what, 4 minutes long. So, and I'm not saying that we don't need to have Showdown in the game. Showdown has to be in the game.
Perfect. Yeah,
Unlimited has
100%.
to be in the game, but we need more variety to play the game. Clutch Time Online, when it was added into the game a couple of years ago, was one of the best things to ever happen. And we've seen, at least in my opinion, to MyTeam. And we've seen MyTeam take out game modes that have failed. They've taken out draft. They've taken out, I mean, I don't even think Blacktop was like a failure. It was just kind of like a game mode that not a lot of people engaged with. I don't think Clutch Time Online was a failure. Like right
No.
now, if you guys have noticed on my channel, I have no gameplay videos because I refuse to step foot onto the Showdown court. I don't want to do that. Could I? Sure. Would I win? Like at least early on in the early tiers? Probably. I have no interest. I just feel like my last closing remark on my second draft picks. I do want to try to keep moving along. My third one won't take too long. I hope. I used to come home from work at 8 o'clock at night on a Monday or a Wednesday or a Friday night, and I would just look forward to watching a YouTube video or two or watching the Monday Night Football game while I would just kind of brainlessly grind triple threat offline. And I don't have that option right now. I can go into, or even like a clutch time online game, and now I have to go into breakout, and like I can play. It just doesn't feel the same. It's not as
Yep.
rewarding, and that leads me into my second draft pick. So pick number 3 overall. It's easy to just say the rewards suck across all game modes, and they do. But I don't want to take that. Kind of like how Harry said he wanted to leave, breakout and clutch them online. For me, I want to leave, like, there's a lot of meat on the bone when it comes to rewards, and the bit of
Right.
meat that I'm going to take off when it comes to that are the removal of mini games after each game won in MyTeam. Another thing that I don't think had to be removed. It was so clear from the pre-order bundles when 2K for the first time, I think ever, removed MT from the pre-order bundle, that 2K was going to make it borderline, I don't want to say impossible, but as difficult as it's arguably ever been in MyTeam to make MT unless you wanted to work the auction house. And I think removing the wheel spin, the door minigame, which is my favorite minigame to play. That was the minigame that we had in Clutch Time Online during season 3 last year when I was grinding for Hakeem Olajuwon. If I didn't have that door mini game, my MT earnings, which was upwards of 2 million MT, would have been sliced in half because I was getting 1,000 MT every other game from the door mini game. I was getting 1,500, and I know that MT earnings are not going to be where they were last year because we have an auction house now in place of the player market. But I still think 2K bringing back the door mini game for Showdown last weekend as an event shows that the games, like the mini games, are still in the programming, in the fabric of 2K25. They have the ability to give them to us, but they're just choosing not to give them to us because they don't want to reward the grinders. Whether you're a casual grinder or you're someone that gets on the game for 8 hours a day, but you don't spend money, you just want to play the game and grind the game, you're not getting rewarded for the number of games that you're winning. You know, you're doing a whole breakout board and you're getting one reward after winning. What if you go through the middle warp, you're playing 36 games, and then your 37th game is the game you get your reward on. I mean, you guys can do the math. 37 times 6.5 to 7 minutes played per game. That's a lot. That's going to be upwards of 3.5 to 4 hours that you're playing for one reward, where you could be getting these incremental rewards along the way. So that's my third pick, Harry. So again, just to remind you, my second pick was what I'm calling the death of the casual player by the removing clutch time online and piggybacking off of your point, removing instant matchmaking for TTO, and then the removal of mini games after every win was my third pick. You get 2 picks in a row, Harry. Go for it.
Okay, I'm gonna begin with Showdown. Showdown or Showtime? I always mix that up.
It's
Is it
Showdown.
Show? Okay,
Showdown.
Showdown.
Showdown slash waste
Okay,
of time.
okay, yes. Many things I want to say. I want to first preface what the evolution, I should say, of what this online mode,
Yes, go for it.
was. So we had unlimited, which, or we can even go further. We had Road to the Playoffs, which was
R.I.P.
pretty much. Well, yeah, honestly, there's so many modes. So I'm just gonna start with unlimited. We had a 12-0 unlimited, where you go 12-0, you get the player at the end for going 12-0. I mean, it's clear. Obviously, you can probably tell based on my dislikement for 5-0 and Triple Threat. Was not a fan of this. But I think the only positive was you get your 12 wins and then you get your player and that's it. But obviously, I really enjoyed Supermax, which was salary cap, in 2K18. I really liked Road to the Playoffs. I wanted something with multiple tiers with rewarding stuff in each tier. So what 2K did was they pretty much added unlimited, which I maybe even hated more because they pretty much took the 12-0. Like, you still had to practically go undefeated in that last tier of unlimited, and they just added countless other tiers that you had to go through with awful rewards. Like, it really didn't matter what you got until that last player you got in unlimited. So it was like they literally just took the pains of 12-0 and just added more games to it for no reason, which didn't have any sense of rewards that you were getting. You still had to, I don't know if you had to go 11-1 or 12-0. You still had to get an insanely crazy record at the last year.
Yes.
They just added more hoops for you to go through. So then they added this, which is pretty much the same, everything I hate about Unlimited, but even worse because now we're not going for a player. You're just going through 15 tiers of Unlimited for the sole purpose of getting terrible rewards. I'm not even going to bring up the rewards. I don't know them off the top of my head, but there's nothing worth playing all those games. And actually, I will say one thing while I'm on the game right now. Even going beyond the tiers, the fact that they're telling you that for 120 wins
Yeah.
of unlimited or whatever the showdown, you get a 20 pack box of Full Throttle, the first set in the game, which is useless now, and or as already aged out by now, I should say, and a NBA Series 1 Deluxe 20 pack box, all unsellable, like 120 wins. You know how long that would take to get those wins? Terrible. Like, so now it's like all the hoops of unlimited of having to go through tier after tier after tier. But this time there's no light at the end of the tunnel because the rewards are completely useless. So don't like, and there are bright spots to it. I like the fact that if you go on a win streak, you can double your wins or whatever and go quicker through the tiers. I like that. I really like the idea of having weekly rewards where you can focus on getting your 7 to 10 wins every week
Yeah.
to get a reward. The
Sure.
rewards aren't good, so it's not worth it. But I think it's a nice idea, you know. So a horrible execution for this. There's no point unless you have no time and all day, or unless you have so much time all day to play 2K and you're a content creator, what you're doing. That's the only way to justify playing this. There's no other reason. So I don't like that. And then The other thing I really don't like, I hate the agendas in this game. I have a next pick, right?
That's
Yes, I
yes,
do.
yes, yes, you do. That's a really good pick too.
I hate the agendas. For me, there's many things I don't like. One, for me, they're just complete, like, there's a better way to put it, but it's slave work. It's homework. It's not fun to do. And I get the idea that agendas probably shouldn't always be fun. You still have to play boring things against the CPU, but there's a way to do it. You don't get on Madden and it tells you get 250 touchdowns over multiple games or whatever it is. You know what I mean? You shouldn't have to play a game over and over again to get an agenda done. That's just not how it should be. I think the best execution of agendas is what they did for was it the D Rose where you got the amethyst? No, that
I
was the
thought D
diamond.
Rose was a 92 plus hidden gems. I think.
No, I'm not thinking that. They at one point earlier in the season they did an amethyst option pack. I think it
Yes,
was.
yes, 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 yes.
That was the best execution of it because they gave you 30 agendas and I think you only needed 20 of them or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was
And
35 and we needed 30.
right, exactly. All of them can be done. You didn't have to repeat games over and over again. If you want, you can combine multiple, focus on getting five in one game. But it wasn't the whole garbage of getting 100, under 3 pointers the whole over multiple games. It's lazy. There's no creativity. They're just giving us boring work that no one wants to do. And I haven't been doing them because all the rewards aren't even worth it. Like I'll go into the rewards. You're going to tell me that I have to do all these agendas every week so I can get a deluxe pack where I can get gold players from the promo that are purposely put in there just so we can get the worst players in the game. Like, it's such a waste of time. Like, I'm sure you are going to do it every now and then and get lucky, get that diamond pull, but that is so few and far in between. So the grind is terrible, the reward is terrible. I don't care if it's a 10-pack box. Like, cool, I know it sounds great. It sounds like a nice little present you can open up. But if at the end of that tunnel, after that grind, you're getting 9 gold players and a sapphire, you know what I mean? Like, it's such a waste of time. Like, I'd so much even rather give us a ruby player, give us an amethyst, give us something we can work towards. I mean, this is a whole other thing I'll bring up, but the fact that they've deliberately made it so there's hardly any amethyst, hardly any good
Yup,
budget players that you can get
yup.
from these packs. So you're forced to either get these golds and waste your time. Like, listen, I'm the type of person I like to grind. I just said I like domination. That to me is fun. This to me is not worth it. It's not worth doing it. It's boring. The rewards are terrible. So like, why do it? You know what I mean? Like Jan, I think he only does it because he's streaming and gives him something to do.
Yeah,
But other than that, there's no earthly reason to even attempt doing it. So yes, that is my thing. And I like I said, the only positive I want to add is that they're combining the modes, which I like. I mean, it's kind of breakout in a sense, but I've been saying for years that, you know, instead of having to play triple threat, get to 100 wins, instead of having to play 50 clutch time games, I'd much rather them make challenges that combine everything. You can play clutch time, then you can play a full game, then you can play triple threat. I feel like that's the best way to execute it using the strength of 2K, which is so many different types of modes. But again, how they're executing it is terrible. Like, I'd be raving about this if they had that same type of structure, but it was more worth it. Like the Amethyst agenda I talked about before, perfect in every way. Good reward, wasn't crazy, combined all the modes. It wasn't asking for unrealistic things to do. It was fun. Like, if every agenda was like that every week, it would be one thing. But like I said, the execution is terrible. The plan is fine, but the rewards are just terrible.
yeah. I actually wanted to give a follow up because I mean, naturally, the agendas were on my list as well. I think the agendas in particular that I really did not like because I mean, there were rarely ever agendas that we really did like. I think the one positive that I was going to throw, because I mean, I do have two picks and I will mention this in a second. Actually, you know what? I want to save that for my pick. The agenda that I want to mention to you to follow up what you're saying, like, we've gotten bad agendas. I think a step below bad agendas are agendas that I just find to be meaningless. And I think the
Yeah.
agendas we've gotten for the 90s and the 70s era greatest edition sets, where we're grinding for those aforementioned 10-pack boxes, where in those 10-pack boxes, you only have a 1.5% chance of pulling a player from the set. Those are meaningless agendas. For every one person who pulls or who gets a diamond shake out of those 10-pack boxes, there are hundreds of people, such as myself, who have yet to see one diamond shake in
Yeah.
any of those 10-pack boxes. So, yeah, that's a great pick by you, Harry. Great pick. Any other remarks about the agendas before I move on to my two picks?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of want to sacrifice. It's not really a pick. I just want to add it onto this because
Yeah,
this
go
could be
for it.
its
Go
own
for it.
pick, but it could also. the same correlation with these dumb, awful, horrific hidden gem packs. Like, it's such a great way for 2K to be lazy all year and not give us meaningful rewards. It's like we're gambling. We're gambling our time away for what's most likely going to be a gold hidden gem, a sapphire, an emerald.
Yeah.
Like, it's just awful. Like, I'm sure there are people who have, like I said, gotten lucky that one time and got a diamond or whatever. But I mean, again, even if you get a diamond, you're getting Diamond Bob Harrison or some useless diamond that you've never even heard of. So again, they're just taunting you with awful rewards, or there might be a chance you get a diamond, there might be a chance you get a pink diamond, but you're not. So, like, I don't like grinding for stuff that I don't like grinding for like RNG gambling rewards because to me it's a waste of time. You know what I mean? So, like again, I'd rather just I honestly, I'd be completely even fine if they're gonna put pink diamonds in packs. Like if they even just said you can grind these agendas for an amethyst from the set. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I would still be complaining that we're grinding for amethyst when they're pink diamonds out, but that's still years, worlds away from what we're getting now.
Yeah, no, definitely. I was actually going to say to your point about the whole gems of the game thing. Do you remember that very first set of daily agendas where they required us to buy a pack from the store, and we had to
Yeah,
do it for
yeah.
like I think it was like 17 days or maybe it was just 2 weeks. But if you did it, I think the math worked out where you were spending roughly 50 to 60,000 MT. And shout out to Peche LeBlue, one of the very kind folk that always comes and hangs out and streams. Shout out to you, Peche. You're the man. Love you, brother. He did those agendas, and poor guy got a gold Gems of the Game card. He spent
Yep.
60K MT to get a Gems of the Game gold card, and that's not fair. Like I feel so bad for him, and I feel bad for anyone else who did it. I mean, shout out to Harry. Harry stopped me. He talked me off the ledge. He told me stop buying those stupid packs. I was going into the little showcase thing so I can get my 30 minutes of 2 times rep. And he was like, "Why are you doing that? You're gonna get a gold." And I was like, "Okay, fine, you're right. I'll stop." And then I stopped, and then lo and behold, what happens? People like Peche get screwed over, and they get a gold card out of it. So yeah, the agendas are
Yeah, and
great.
again, listen, and this isn't like Madden. When I always say this, but I hate comparing games. But I'm gonna compare it to Madden, where Madden does a daily quick sell where you have to open a pack, but they have a 500 coin pack, which is literally it's the same equivalence to 2K. It's nothing.
Yeah,
It's 500 MT, and I've pulled really great cards from that 500 pack like every now and then, but it's 500. Who cares? But when you're having us open a 4,000 MT pack, a base pack or whatever how much it is every day to get like a hidden gem pack where you're gonna pull unacceptable. It is like it's ridiculous.
it is. It is. All right. With that said, I'm gonna make. Uh, do you have any other draft picks? Because I have two more, and I think the last one I want to leave for us to kind of debate together. I think you're gonna really like it. It's a very controversial one. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So, my final two draft picks, because we actually did a really good job. We covered basically everything on my board. Kind of have a tie between these two. I mean,
Well,
okay.
there's only one more I can think of. I don't know if you're gonna say it though.
Wait, what are you gonna say?
The pack odds. Were you gonna mention that?
No, I was not. Do you want to talk about that real quick? Go ahead. I'll give you a third
Honestly,
draft pick. Go for it.
I'll give you the pick because I think you're better than I at paying attention to the percentages every week. So I'll let you
Well, no, I mean,
if
I
you
don't
if you
think
want.
it even like you don't have to even necessarily pay that much attention to it. I mean, I don't even look at the pack odds like that. I just think the pack odds have just been they've been so bad, and the
Yeah.
problem for me is like it's not even the fact that the pack odds are bad because I kind of expected the pack odds to be really really bad, honestly. I just think for me it kind of sucks where if you're a no money spent or low money spent player, last year we were able to grind because I just want to get one thing very clear. Notice how in this draft that we've done so far, nowhere have Harry and I mentioned the rewards being unauctionable. And at least in my opinion, the reason why it's not on my draft board is because I don't think there's a world that 2K goes back to giving us auctionable rewards for everything.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
listen, and again, like I think it's one of those things where we're so accustomed to getting these that it becomes normalized. Like I was watching old Space Word Bird 2K19 videos, and you
mm-hmm.
used to be able to play Triple Threat online and do the ball drop and get auctionable packs where you could pull a diamond, you could pull a pink diamond.
Yeah,
Like there is no reason why we can't even be getting base packs that are sellable. Where there's again, 2K wants to show us how bad the odds are, so when we open packs, they can rub it in our faces. Fine, rub it in our faces how there's a 1% chance of getting a 95 plus or whatever. Give us a base pack like that. Who cares? We're not gonna pull that. It'll take hundreds of those packs to get one. So the excuse that we can't even get a pack where we're likely going to pull a gold or an emerald that we can't put up on the auction house, like it's ridiculous. Like I don't think that should be justified at all. You know?
No, no, and I think 2K doing. I mean, this is something that I don't. I kind of I've removed it from my list off my draft board because 2K put a patch fixing it. But the fact that we could not put unauctionable cards into the
Yeah,
exchange was pretty terrible. You know, and they
and it was
did
on
the same thing
purpose.
with
It was one
exhibitions
of those
too.
things they had to fix because it was ridiculous. But yeah, that was intentional. And again, I want to preface one thing: like the cards that you can get from Breakout, LeBron, whoever, how rare it is, Kareem. I don't care if it's so rare or how rare it is. Those cards should not be able to be put on the auction house. That would be unfair. So I completely get that. I would
Yes,
not want people to
sure.
get a Kareem from Breakout and be able to put that on the auction house and make millions of MT. But at the same time, everything else should be auctionable. The standard packs, the deluxe packs, I don't care. They're one pack. You know what I mean? If it was like a 10-pack box, okay, that's one thing. But any single pack should not be on. Like it's such a thing that's become normalized over the last like couple of years, and it used to not be like that at all.
Yeah, no,
But again, it's
absolutely.
like quickly add before you
Sure,
go,
sure, sure,
just we can
sure.
quickly go into what you were saying. I think the pack odds are also outrageous because it's more to that. The pack odds are bad, so the odds of getting, a diamond or a pink diamond are so hard. And then a lot of the people who are opening these packs, or the people who spend so much money, are also locking these cards in for those 95 plus hidden gem cards or whatever the set is. So now you have even less cards going on the auction house, and you're not even giving us really good budget cards at all since we're hardly getting any amethysts. And the diamonds we get are all super expensive because everybody's locking in those sets. So it's like they're leaving absolutely nothing for us to use. So the MT rates are terrible. You can hardly make MT in the game. You're not getting anything from the modes that can be put on the auction house to make MT. So it's like it will be constantly stuck in a state where we're like 2 or 3 tiers behind the game. The fact that pink diamonds are out and Jan and I were excited to get like an 80 whatever Ruby Ray Allen, a Ruby Austin Rivers, like
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. It
Oh,
really is.
Harry, the
So we should
funniest
not,
was you telling me that you were looking forward to sniping Series 1 Steph Curry.
and I still am because I don't want to spend like over 20K on him. And like there's pink diamond curry out. It's just so wrong. And it again, it's what we've talked about. They don't. If I took an amethyst curry on Showdown, I'm probably gonna get pissed when I'm playing, all the best card, the pink diamonds in the game. They don't want, but I would have less of a bad time if I played triple threat or clutch time online. So they took away that fun, that being able to have fun with budget cards, because now it's either sink or ship. You have the best cards in the game, or you're gonna get your ass killed because we've
Yep.
never had a game. I don't think this is the first 2K I've played maybe ever where if you don't have the best cards in the game, like you're screwed. That alone gives you an advantage whether you're good at the game or not. I don't think I've ever played a 2K this outrageous like this before.
Yeah, and I've said it to you before, and I think you've agreed. I think that is by design. You look at how 2K
Yeah.
has done their hidden gems, with us only having 30 or so amethysts, and every other tier having 130 plus cards. I feel like 2K's clearly drawn the line. I've never seen a greater dichotomy between the money spenders who have access to the diamonds and the pink diamonds, and then us peasants, us, minnows, the ones that are not lining 2K's pockets every week. We get rubies and lower to play with for the most part. I will give 2K some credit by saying, because the one positive, 'cause I don't want to be negative the whole time. I
We
do
said we were gonna do positive, then it's
I know,
wrong.
I know, I know. I do like that we had those agendas for hidden gems. We had the Derrick
Yes,
Rose retirement agendas.
100%.
Those were
Yep, yep,
good.
yep.
I mean, my two best cards on my team, besides the level 40 Tracy McGrady card in terms of tier, are my diamond Terry Porter and my diamond Travis Grant, who I got from Hidden Gems. So I mean that's kind of cool. I guess I mean I'll never complain about being able to grind for free diamonds when again the state of the low money spent and no money spent community is as dire as it is. So I do want to say I didn't want to
No,
acknowledge that.
yeah, no, 100%. Because if there, I don't want everybody to have pink clearly. Jan and I, we run the train of not wanting the horrible pacing. That could have been a pick. How awful the pacing is
Yeah,
this year.
yes, that's true. I
But
forgot about that.
like, if there's pink diamonds to begin the game, which I hate. Jan hates. We've talked about it enough. We don't have to keep going. We should all be enjoying the diamonds and the amethysts in this game. We should not be at rubies right now. So to get diamonds, to grind for with Pink Diamonds out in season 1, that's perfect. Like I shouldn't ask for more than that. But on the other hand, like the fact that that's the only grind that we've only had 2 chances to get diamonds without having to go undefeated or
Well,
some
yeah.
outrageous,
Yes.
you know what I mean?
Well, I do want to
So
say there was a third way, which we did not like. I think neither of us engaged with it, which was the showdown event last
I was
week.
about to say that, but people you could have played. All right, that was fine. I'll add that to the mix where it's okay to grind for
No, I
diamonds.
actually no. I'm gonna give you pushback on that. I don't think it's fine for a guy like Ty Debo who was able to get it after 4 wins. It's fine, but
Well,
to
I
the
don't like the yeah. I agree. Well, yeah, I agree. I don't
the
like the
people that played
RNG sucks.
35 games, like who was it? Spades 2K on Twitter, had to win 35 games. God knows how many games he lost to get three, and I don't even know how good his Hidden Gems Diamond card was. I mean, how many
No,
Nate
I agree.
Robinson did I see on Twitter?
I was trying to be nice. If there's two things I hate that 2K does, I hate the RNG and I hate undefeated. There's no reason why they couldn't have said you have all weekend to get 25 wins in Showdown or something like that to get that card. You know what I mean? No
Yeah,
reason why they couldn't do that. So
yeah,
I
make it
agree.
like Weekend League. I'm cool with that. I have no
But
issue with
again,
that.
like I'll end it like I keep saying. There's no reason why I should still have rubies on my team or forced to have rubies on my team and have horrible other cards when we have pink diamonds. Like I just think 2K, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like if you're gonna start with pink diamonds, you also have to give the people who play the game the opportunity to have at least a full team of amethyst by now. Because anything else is it's unacceptable.
Absolutely. All right. Since I gave you three picks, I'm gonna do three myself to close out the
Go
draft,
for
if
it.
that's okay. The
Go for it.
first one's not gonna be that long. I'm actually saving the very spicy take for the last pick, the Mister
Mm.
Irrelevant pick of our draft, the final draft pick. My first of three is going to be just in general the lack of engagement with their two new game modes. Right, we had TTO Park, and they did a better job of that towards the latter half of season one, where we had events like for that Diamond Ronnie Seekely card where you could grind for him. Although Harry and I have talked about it a lot, at least here in the States, Sundays are meant for football. And I think a
Yep.
lot of people, and for family, and like I think for whatever your reasons may be, I think there are a lot of people in the community who just don't have the time to like boot up Park and try to win 5 games in a row because again, I mean, the very first pick of our draft tonight, there's no instant matchmaking in Triple Threat Online unless you go to play on Poverty Gen. Um, and we don't want to do that. Like Harry says it to me all the time, and it's very well said, I think. He didn't pay all this money for his PlayStation 5 to play the PlayStation 4 version of this game, right?
Yep.
So, and even if you did, it doesn't matter. Those rewards are only for Park, not for the Triple Threat Online on previous gen. And then Breakout as well, just not enough done with Breakout. I feel like the only updates that are given to Breakout are the random deluxe packs that we get, and the majority of those deluxe packs are the ones that are like lower tier. Um, yes, Harry, I just got your text. I totally agree. We're gonna keep it short because we're already at 45 minutes. We're gonna make the
Okay.
second half very very short. I promise. We're gonna just do our hits because I do want to wait to see what season two looks like before we
Mhm.
actually do like a deep dive. Um, so yeah, basically just Breakout and TTO Park. I think we need more engagement in season two.
Yep.
And I do think Breakout is a cool concept, but I think if you're
Oh yeah.
going to consolidate all of the offline game modes into one, you need to make that game mode super engaging because for the offline player, and I stand by this stance, I think there are significantly more offline only players who play 2K My Team than there are online players who play a lot of online. I just think that's the way
Yeah.
it is for whatever the people's reasons may be. You need to make Breakout more engaging.
Yeah, and honestly, I'll quickly add,
Sure.
I think the only two ways that breakout will be acceptable for me is one, you get something every game. Every single
Yeah.
game you should get something. It could be as
Bring back
small
mini
as
games.
that's my number two. It could be a badge pack, it could be something every game. Or number two, we should be getting the door game every single game you win. Regardless, I don't care if we get 100 MT, there should be something like nothing should there should be no mode where you play for an hour or so, an offline mode where you have to play for an hour, 2 hours to do the entire board to get one thing. And that one thing could be terrible. It could, you know what I mean? It's such a, like you said, great idea. Same with Showdown. It's a cool idea. Horrible execute. I have not played a single board of Breakout because
Yeah.
it's just, I'm not the type of person that likes to play for an RNG reward. Some people are. For the people who want to sweat and play all day and not get the pink diamond they want, I mean, teach its own, but it has to change. And if it doesn't, it's just going to continue to be a mode that will die out very quickly.
Definitely. All right, moving on to my next pick, my second to last pick here of this draft. Because we did not touch on it, and there's a reason why I did not have pack odds on my draft board, and that's because I think the bigger issue for me than the pack odds being so bad are the MT earnings being so bad across all game modes.
Yeah.
I expected, and I said this in my decision video where I talked about if I'm going to come back for NBA 2K25 My Team. I'm pretty sure I mentioned in that video that with the auction house coming back, I had expected us to have our MT earnings on a per game basis be slashed by 50%. Because it makes sense. You're going from a player market where 2K controls all the prices to an auction house where we're supposed to be able to control all the prices, right? And so I thought we were going to make half the MT we made on a per game basis this year than we did last year. That number looks to be closer to 60 to 75% less. And that I think is just too big of a drop off. And that's not even factoring in the mini games, where, yes, the mini games back in season one were giving you anywhere from like what, 100 to maybe at most 500 MT after a
Yeah.
game. But that adds up. Imagine if you got that after every single win in Breakout. All of a sudden, those 36 to 37 games you're playing on your way to going through that, the warp in the middle and getting your final reward, you're making so much more MT. I mean, if you're just getting 100 MT more per game, that's 3,600 MT. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but that's roughly the amount of MT you're making per hour of playing Breakout anyway. So you're getting an hour of Breakout MT for free. And I feel like we're panhandling, begging for pennies out here when I'm talking about this. It just feels like 2K has gone. They've gone the extra mile to make sure we don't get rewards when it comes to MT. Look at King of the Court, which we did not touch on either. For example,
Yeah.
the reward structure, even at the very, very top, if you're number one, you get, what is it, a million VC and a pink diamond. That's going to be splashed every single week if you're playing on PlayStation. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. His team is only getting better every
And
single
again,
week.
if you're not going for number one, if you're not a splash, you're not a Tydebo, there's no reason to play it. The rewards are terrible. Like even the top 10, everything else. If you're not number one, there's not one reward where to me it's worth it. Like
Yeah,
they have to do better with that because I don't even want to play it because I don't want to waste my whole Saturday just to come out with like a horrible amethyst or whatever the player is. Like they have to do better. You should be able to play that mode and make it into even the top 50 and get something at least decent. You know what I mean? Like it's
definitely,
terrible.
definitely. I just think the amount of effort, because I think there are some rewards on there that are interesting, that are good, but I think the issue is when you get a 92 plus hidden gems pack for making it into the top 1%, the amount of effort you have to put in just to potentially get a diamond card that sucks, why it's not an option
Yeah,
pack makes
when
no
not
sense.
when probably 99% of them are all red herring 92 pluses that aren't good or are people you've never heard of. Like it's they need if that was a bigger ratio of getting a card that you're probably going to benefit like an AD or like all these different cards, it's one thing, but it's not a great hand of players that you could fully get. And we see that every week. How many it's every week since King of the Court, we're constantly showing people on Twitter complaining about the player they got after all that time. Like that
Yeah,
should not be happening for all the work they put in to get there, which is probably the hardest grind in the game to
yeah.
get to that top one.
No, yeah, definitely, like 100%. But again, the main premise of this draft pick, I mean, like the rewards aren't great. We talked about the rewards earlier
Yep.
in this draft. It's just the MT earnings. 2K, I've said it a lot. If not on stream or in recording, you can ask Harry. I tell him all the time. I think for these game modes to thrive on like the side of like a 2K or EA Sports when it comes to Madden Ultimate Team and FIFA, I think one of the most integral part to those companies' teams that are working behind the scenes on these game modes are their economists. I think their
Mhm.
economists are some of the most brilliant people on those teams because they go into these game modes every single year with the intent to make it as difficult on us as possible for us to make in-game currency to try to make us want to open packs. While I mean, and I think 2K does as bad a job as any other company as hiding their greed. I
Yeah,
think this year
right.
especially they're very open about their greed. But 2K this year has done a really good job of limiting the MT that we make on a per game basis, and I think there's a reason for that. And this is
Mhm.
my spicy final pick of this draft. my biggest frustration, well, not okay, not biggest, because it's still Clutch Time Online, but one of my big frustrations with this game this year is the return of the auction house. Because
Yeah.
the return of the auction house, when people were getting so excited in August, parading all over the streets of Twitter saying, oh, the auction house is coming back. I saw people who have thousands of followers on Twitter saying, the auction house coming back is going to make 2K25 a top three my team of all time.
Yeah.
I don't think people understand what the auction house returning meant back in August because it didn't mean plug and play. We're going to take the auction house, put it into 2K24, and it's going to make everything good. The
Which
auction
that
house,
also would probably make 2K the one of the greatest my teams of all time, you know?
yeah, no, exactly,
Right.
absolutely. But the auction house, the auction house is like your ex girlfriend who's like emotionally unavailable and probably has chlamydia, but she's really good looking, right? And so you're like, man, we used, that's my old flame. We used to have a great time together. And then you bring her back, you bring or Miss Auction House over to your house, and then you realize how much baggage was in it. And I know the auction house in the past was really, really good. It was. It was. But I think for the auction house to come back after what 2K did in 2K24 with the player market, and 2K saw, we've said it a bunch on this channel. I think we were all guinea pigs in 2K24. 2K
Yeah.
tried to see how far they could bend the community before we would
Mhm.
break. Some people broke. Some people broke very early on when they saw, oh, I can't snipe. Because there are a factor of people who only play this game to work the auction house. That's cool. I don't think that's the way I want to play this game. I used to want to play the game that way, but now that my time on this game is limited compared to what it used to be when I was in my 20s playing 2K15, 16, and 17, I want to get on this game to play basketball, not Market Simulator. If I want to do Market Simulator, I'll download Robinhood or something and I'll work the stock market if I want to. I'm not getting on the game to do that. At least I don't want to feel like I have to do that to make MT. I just knew that with the auction house coming back, 2K was going to, in a way, punish us. And I put out that video earlier in the year talking about, the death of the casual player. And I think I might have implied in that video that it felt like 2K gave us the auction house back because everyone cried about it last year. And in a way, 2K bringing it back vindicated their own choices to remove everything else that we liked about 2K24. Clutch time online gone, casual grinding gone, mini games gone, the ability to earn MT gone, more unauctionable than ever. We have that. We have so many things that we did not want that have come into the game this year and has made the game really feel almost like a chore at times. And I really do think that the reason why the game is in this state, besides the fact that 2K is 2K, right? Like 2K is a very greedy company. We know that. And I know this is a very, very hot take. I think if you were to ask people
Mhm.
on day one what they thought of the game with the auction house coming back compared to 2K24 with the player market versus in the last week, I think a lot of those people have kind of changed their stance on 2K24. I was never like in that camp of 2K24 was a total failure. I think 2K24 wasn't the best my team. I don't think it was top 5 or top 7, but I think it was an okay my team. I think I was able to have fun playing that game, and that's something that I'm struggling to have in this game right now consistently, which is fun, and I blame to an extent the auction house for that. Harry, do you have anything to add?
No. No, I'm kidding. I've yeah, I have a lot to add. I'm gonna try to make this very concise in a way because I have a lot to say. I am someone that loves sniping. I've done a lot of it this year.
Yeah,
That's always been something I've loved ever since it was introduced to me in like I think 2K16. I remember calling nines with Jan, watching his stream in 2K16, and here I am in 2K25, still enjoying sniping.
yeah,
So that when that was taken away from me, it was very crushing because I love being able to just put Netflix on, put a movie in, and just snipe in the background and make MT. You know, so when they took that out, it kind of messed with me a little bit in 2K24 in the beginning, at least when
yep,
we had a normal player market. But I was still able to make the most of it by playing 2K, playing the game, and making MT. And I think in a way, I would equivalent this to the whole shooting issue controversy in 2K, where we've had years of make or miss on 2K. If you're not greening it, you're missing it. And I hated that to begin with. I just thought it makes the game less fun for the casual player. I have so many friends who are casuals that stopped playing because they were like, I can't make shots. This is a basketball game. Why am I playing? It's like football. If you get on football and you can't throw the ball, why am I playing football? So, but when they've purposely manipulated our brains to get accustomed to this for years, and then they take that away, and now you're watching people make whites against you. There's not that there's not that 100% shooting window of being able to green it. Like we've already seen that door of green or miss for so many years, to the point where like we can't accept anything different, because then it's like our whole brains have been wired in the sense of knowing that if it takes skill to shoot. So when you play someone who whites it and make a full white and they make it, you're a little annoyed because we've spent years of training a set that's not the way to go. So I think similar to this, where you know, for years I was content with the auction house being the only way to make MT. I was fine with that. You could, if you want to work the auction house, you can make a lot of MT. But I think 2K then rewired my brain last year, where for the first time ever, I was making MT from playing the game. The most MT we've ever had in a 2K. I had 2 million, and I stopped playing for half the year. Jan had, I don't even know, 4 million or some ridiculous thing like that. Most MT we've
Yeah.
ever had. So now that, sorry, what?
No, I say yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, about the
So
MT.
now that my brain is rewired, I can't go back to playing domination and not making 4,000 MT. I can't go back to playing a clutch time game and not making 1,000 MT. They've wired my brain for a whole year that was the norm. You can make a lot of MT from playing the game, to where anything else is a downgrade, a huge downgrade, which is why I was hoping this wouldn't be the route they're going. But I think ultimately, to bring it full circle, I think both options suck. I think this sucks, where
Yeah,
sniping is the only way to make MT. That should never be a thing. You should not have to spend your days on the auction house every day to make MT. And if you don't snipe, you have no way of making MT. On the flip side, what they did to that player market last year, also awful, maybe
yeah,
even equally awful, if not worse, where you can't snipe. The best cards are gated behind packs. There's no way to get them. Now you can make the argument, and you've made it before, like the pack odds are so bad, there it's equally as hard to get, but at least there's a chance. At least I can have over 1 million MT and say, you know what, I want to spend all my MT on Pink Diamond KD tomorrow in season 2.
sure.
How,
Yes.
how long will it take me to make that MT back? A very, 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 very long time. But at least I'll have the chance. Now, I don't like having zero chance. When you make it so it's impossible to get a card without spending money, that's when I have a problem. So I think both options suck. And for a while I thought 2K, this was a 2K problem, but we saw what Madden did, where they've added price caps, they've added extreme quantity limits that 2K doesn't have. But at least with Madden, with the price caps, which I thought would be the worst thing they can do to the auction house, it's hard to snipe, but it's possible. You have to be very into the market. You have to study the market. You have to know when the best time to buy players, do that. And it's possible. You have guys like Buffalo K who are able to make millions and millions from sniping, but it might be harder for the casual to try to get on and figure out sniping with the price
Yeah,
caps. But then again, you could play the game and make loads and loads of coins. So it's sad, but it seems like that's the best way to go, where you're limiting sniping, but it's still possible, and you can make MT for playing the game. I think that's the perfect middle that 2K has to find. Because if not, I've said, sorry, I'm like losing my voice, but
that's
I made the
okay.
point when I first came to the realization that I didn't like where the game was at in the beginning of the year. And it's because I've seen both hands. There's no other direction they can go besides finding that middle gateway of price caps and making it so you can snipe. It's harder, but you can make MT from playing the game, because at this point, it's impossible for them to really suck me in next year, because I've seen it. I've seen what it's like without an auction house where 2K is controlling the market. We've seen what it might lead to in 2K. It might be good in the beginning, but once 2K knows that they can test their luck a little bit and make more money, they're going to do that no matter what.
Yeah,
And I've seen this hand where sniping is the only way to make MT, and there's no reason to play any game mode in the mode because the rewards suck. That's also a very big problem. So ultimately, I just think both are bad. You know what I mean? Like, I think you enjoyed 2K24 more than I did, and it's fine. So I think overall, like I said, bring it full circle, both suck, and I think they have to find a middle way, or else I think they'll continue to lose people more and more every year.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I'm sure there are plenty of ways we can talk about how they could fix it. We can save that for
Mhm.
a future pod for sure. Before we move on to our season two, we'll do quick hits. Honestly, I was hoping to just do quick hits on season two, anyways, because 2K for the first time in a long time did not drop a blog for a season, like a new season, which is pretty crazy. We're not gonna have to talk about that, Harry. Don't worry. I think it's crazy. I know you think it's crazy.
Yep.
I just want to try to speed through it. Before
Yep.
we get to the season two stuff, um, is your letter grade above an F for season one?
Um. Yes. Yes. I think it's different because I'll put it like this. You know what? I'll put it the perfect way. We've switched roles completely because I remember last year we were grading the final season of my team, and you gave it, I forget, a C or a D or
Yeah,
something, and I got very angry and I
you
got very
did. You
frustrated, and I
did.
said, I want you to mention, right? I was like forcing it onto you. I was like, I want you to say right now that this is an F, but in your enjoyment, it's a D, and you completely agreed, and you said yes, that's 100% what I meant. That's where I'm at. This is an F if you're grading it objectively based on everything we were given, the rewards, the lack of communication, the awful game modes, the terrible execution of everything. Everything is executed poorly. The auction house executed poorly, showdown executed poorly, breakout executed poorly, the agenda is executed poorly. There's hardly anything that's been executed, the pacing executed poorly. Everything, every single thing has been executed poorly. But I'm going to give it like a D plus purely because I think, at least for me, the auction house being back, and I think maybe this is why I prefer this a little bit more, a tiny bit more than last year, is because with an auction house back, I'm able to play my team my way, and that's my mantra for this year. The only way I'm playing this game, because this isn't a good mode, is I have to make the most of it and play the game the way I want to play it, and that's how you approach 2K24. You
Yes.
played Clutch Time Online. That was playing my team your way. That was, the analogy of playing the game, getting rewards that you might not pick, but you like the freedom of getting the cards. That to you was perfect. So, or not perfect,
Well,
but that
not
was
perfect, but
your way of
it
playing
was
it.
manageable. I was able to make it fun.
Exactly. For me, having the auction house is my way of making it fun. I enjoy sniping and being able to chill after a long day and put on Netflix, put on wrestling, put on something I enjoy and snipe. And then being able to bring those cards online and get budget cards and test cards online, whether showdown or sadly triple threat online, because that's how it, like, for me, if triple threat online was in next gen and we had that, like, I'd be so content with just playing this game all year because at least I'd be able to play triple threat. I'd be able to snipe. Like, for me, those are just the two things that I want. But so that to me is why I'd give it a D plus. But if I'm grading it objectively on what we're given, if I wasn't making the most of it, this would be an F. No arguing that complete. If you think it's better than an F or even a D minus, then you're just either delusional or you enjoy getting the money from 2K with their content creation or whatever it is. So yes, and that's what I would say for everyone else listening who is upset with the game. I would play it your way. I would try to think how do I want to approach my team this year in a way where I'm not going to be upset, I'm not going to be frustrated, and I can enjoy it. And if you find that you can't do that, then just don't play because it's not worth the frustration. Like, that's what I came down to last year. Like, I was so annoyed about how how grinds were. I was so frustrated with how everything was guarded behind packs. And for me, I couldn't make the most of it. I didn't want to, and Jan could, and that was his way of doing it. So he enjoyed the game.
Hmm.
I couldn't do it. So I want to tell everybody now: if you can find a way to enjoy it, great, do it. That's what I'm doing. But if you can't, like, don't play it. Like, this game is so frustrating enough, and it should not be this frustrating. It's a video game. You should be excited to play. It should be something to get your mind off of the stresses and the crazy stuff going on in your life. So, like, this should not add more stress in your life. So this is me making the most of it. But if you can't, like, don't play it. And that's not your fault. This is 2K's fault. They should not be putting you in this spot. So I don't want to blame. I'm not one of those people that's like, if you don't like the game, if you're complaining, don't play it. Because I believe in criticizing. I believe in not just criticizing, but having um, what's the right word? Having
Having like a healthy conversation or discussion
I
about
don't think,
the
yeah,
game.
having
Yeah.
discussion, and Jan and I think we're the best at saying, we don't just say showdown sucks, breakout sucks. We're saying why it sucks. We're saying how could they make it better. So I don't want you to take it where I'm saying if you complain, don't play. But, like, I'm saying for your benefit, like, if you can't make the most of a very shitty game like I am, then, like, don't play it. And I think Jan, his making the most of it is streaming because he's enjoying the streaming. His YouTube channel has been doing great this year. So
Shout out
that
to
for
you
him is
guys.
his. Yeah, shout out to all you guys. So that for him is his what does the Rock say? That's his oh, this is gonna kill me because I'm gonna think of it later. That's his like um whatever. That's his purpose of playing. So if you don't have a purpose, you can't make the most of it. This terrible game, don't play it.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it was my number one reason for coming back. To Harry's point, was you guys, and the way the channel's blown up. I think if anything, it's vindicated me and it's made me feel really good about my choice to come back and play my team. So shout out to you guys. Again, it's not that I am having like an awful time. I'm just not enjoying the game the same way I was last year. I know
Yeah.
Harry just said that if you give the game over an F, objectively, that you're crazy. I am crazy. I'm gonna give it a D, but the reason why I'm giving it a D is
Well, I
because
didn't say that. Said if you're. I said objectively. Are you saying it's
yes,
objectively not enough,
I think it's
or are you saying
objectively not an F only
okay?
because to me, I'll tell you why, and it's kind of sad. To me, F implies you've hit the floor. I think this game mode can get worse. Believe it or not, I really do think it can. I hope
You
we don't get there because people were complaining about the player market last year, in the first half of the year, and then as the year went on, people kind of like liked it a little bit more here and there, and then all of a sudden we had the freaking special inserts hit, and then the player market hit the
all
shitter.
right? But what I wouldn't go there because also an F, it could be an F minus. You know what I mean? Like when you, I could
For
see it
me,
an F
F is the
plus.
bottom. For me, F is the absolute bottom. I would say
Okay.
this is a D. Like it's still awful. Like this game
Well,
mode.
I said F or D minus or whatever
Sure.
it is.
No, I get it. I mean, the point for me is it's also a borderline failing grade. I'm just giving it that low of a grade because I know they can do worse, but they have so much room to improve. And I really do think this game mode, like they can make a couple of changes. They can, if
Yeah.
they give us, if they incentivize us to play the game by giving us, and I'm not
Hmm.
asking for auctionable rewards. I'm not asking for pink diamonds on every breakout board. I'm not asking for thousands of MT per win. Just little things, the things that
Yeah.
Harry and I talked about in our draft, if they can rectify those things, if they can bring back mini games, if they can maybe find a way to improve matchmaking. Harry and I were joking because of the whole gravity ball thing that's been making its way around the interwebs on Twitter. If they brought back a DLC for like $20 for Clutch
Oh
Time
yeah.
Online, I'd think
And
about
triple
it,
threat.
which is
Oh
so
yeah.
stupid. And
Yeah.
but anyways, that's a conversation for a different day. We're gonna move on to season two really quick. Harry, we're gonna do rapid fire for this, and I think the main
Rapid
reason why
fire.
I wanted to do rapid fire, besides the fact that Harry feels like his voice is giving out on him, I feel really bad. Harry, shout out to
It
you.
is. I'm
Um,
trying.
but the main reason why I wanted to do it this way is because we are going to be talking about tweets that 2K has put out, and even back then when 2K used to give us blogs, I feel like a lot of what's in the new season is out there for us to discover. Because for
Hmm.
2K, RNG and mystery is content, which I hate, but whatever. It is
Right.
what it is. Um, Let me start at the very beginning. We're not going to talk about open qualifiers for King of the Court. I'm not going to play it. Um, they did tease a new ladder to climb in Showdown, which I guess we'll see. I mean, they had to make the rewards better in Showdown. Hopefully, it actually is better. Do you want to talk at all about the players coming tomorrow in that promo, Harry? I'm totally cool with not talking about them.
No, I again, it's gonna be the same thing. We should not be getting pink diamonds this early, let alone a pink diamond KD. I hate that. I hate that we don't even know whether if we are getting extra cards beyond those diamonds, they're gonna be golds, emeralds, silver, or sapphires that we can get from playing the game. It's ridiculous. We're probably gonna get maybe two amethysts. Everything about it sucks. Nothing I can say more.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a set that has no. I think all the players listed on that graphic are going to be all that we get. That's
Probably.
just my guess. I think it's
It's
going to
just
be like full
it's
throttle.
disgusting what they're yeah, it's disgusting. The fact that like again, I would be complaining if we were getting amethyst agendas because there's pink diamonds, but like it's ridiculous that we're not even getting that at a minimum because it's like again, I've already said that, but yes, terrible.
Yeah, I mean, it's just nice to have my uncle Moses Malone as
There
my
we
fellow
go.
Moses brother in there, but that's just about it. One thing that I know Harry and I are going to be excited to dive into, and it's actually a player that I'm kind of interested to add to my team because he fits exactly the mold I look for at my shooting guard position. We're getting, I gotta say, the marketing team needs to really step it up. ABC's domination does not really whet my appetite. When I read it, like when Harry texted it to me, I thought that was like an NBA Centel tweet. Like I didn't really believe it at first. But ABC's domination, we're getting a new domination that's going to culminate in us getting a diamond Contavious Caldwell Pope. Harry, what are your thoughts on two things? Us getting a domination to start season two. I think that's the quickest we've gotten. I don't remember many my
Yeah.
teams where we get another one immediately in season two, a domination after getting one or two in season one. So, what are your thoughts on us having a new domination already in season two? And what are your thoughts on the reward being Contavious Caldwell Pope, a diamond card?
Okay, rapid fire. One, there's no way there's, you know, what like it's ABCs and of course 2K because they're just idiots. It's still going to be a 33 game thing. It should be a 26 alphabet thing, which would make sense. But of course, with 2K and common sense, it doesn't apply. Um, I'm so glad we're getting another domination. I think that's great. We've never gotten a domination in season two, and most people haven't even finished the second domination because of
Yeah,
how
I
hard
haven't.
that is. So
Yeah.
I'm glad, and which is normally how they treat it. Which the grinders who are gonna really grind, they get domination done. All of them season one, like I did. So I'm glad that they're giving us more to do. If you don't want to do that, you could get the Tim Duncan. Again, you could make the case we're in season two. Season one, I did not want to grind for a pink diamond. Again, I don't like fast pacing. I think now season two, with so many pink diamonds, you could have made this card a pink diamond. Like I think that's something to complain about, a valid, concern. But I think the player could be fun. He's definitely not an OP player by any means. You could probably argue that Tim Duncan has more of an impact, but so the player doesn't excite me. But what does excite me, at least in a way, is that every domination so far, domination and eras domination, the MT values for getting the divisional MT reward has gone up. So the first one was 10K, the second one was 15K for getting the 5 games done. If they make it so you're getting 20K for each division, which I don't know if they will, to me that would be great because then you're getting a guaranteed 100K MT for completing domination. You get a decent diamond, not a terrible diamond by any means. You're getting you're getting all the other stuff we might be getting, badge packs, whatever. So you can walk out with a good amount of MT, a solid player. So I'm completely on board. I wish it was a pink diamond by now, but I think overall this is great. So I'm happy we get this.
Yeah, no, I mean I am too. I'll be looking forward to grinding this out for sure.
And I hope it's is it better not? I hope it's on pro. I hope 2K realizes there is no reason that we should be sweating as much as we did in Era's domination. So please, by all means, I don't know if I can handle doing this if it's not on pro. So I hope they do that.
Yeah, I hope you're ready for ABCs on HOF Hall of Fame difficulty, Harry. Get ready.
Yeah, but again, also, I think, and I doubt we're gonna get this. If we got a domination every season, like to me, that would be amazing. You know what I mean?
That would
So
be nice.
if that would, for me, that in a way could make up for the alpha rewards. Because if we can get even 100K MT every season, or a little bit more from doing domination every season, like that could be great. So
Yeah,
hopefully, I hope please 2K keep this up. This is great.
definitely. Okay, last thing already because we didn't really get all that much information, which is a little worrying. By the way, this video I was gonna upload this tonight. I'm gonna be uploading it tomorrow morning so that you guys can watch it while I'm getting a call from Mama Moses, but she's gonna have to wait. Um, what was I gonna say? We're gonna upload this for tomorrow morning, so Friday morning, October 18th, around. I'm gonna shoot for 9 or 10 a.m. so that if you
Yep,
guys
yep,
are
yep.
grinding domination, you guys can listen to this in the background and then let us know your thoughts in the comments. Are you ready for the last topic, Harry?
I'm ready.
All right, last topic. One that I think may have a little bit of discussion associated with it, but I don't think it'll take all that long. Don't worry. 2K put out a tweet with what they're
Oh,
calling.
also,
Yes,
I'm
go
so
ahead.
sorry to
Sure.
interrupt
No,
you.
go ahead.
Can
Go
we
ahead.
briefly talk about the season reward?
Tyrese Halliburton. You mean?
I think this is such an L, to be honest. Like, I just want to quickly add, like, I hated the idea of getting a Jamal Murray, which was teased, and I probably would prefer Murray. Like, to get a point guard, shooting guard like that with an awful jump shot, awful, like, fades. Animations are just not good. I was even testing him out in the freestyle mode in the regular play now. His dribbling animations are not that great. Maybe it'll be better, but I don't know. It's just an L. Like, it just doesn't really excite me at all. And, like, again, they never see the season reward is always set up where unless you like care about the extension, it's like the only other decent thing. Everything else sucks. It's really not worth it. So like I really don't care about getting level 40. I'm more excited about getting that cat for $10, of course,
Yes, me
which
too.
2K sets you up that you're more excited to spend money over a card instead of grinding for it. So I think the level 40 is a big letdown in a way. So I'm very disappointed in that.
Yeah, the cat's going to be amazing. I mean, it's really nice. I have to say, us Knicks fans are eating pretty good so far.
We
We have
are. We really
Jalen
are.
Brunson, Amethyst from Domination. That card
Yep.
still in the right hands
He's
can
so
be
good.
a
He's so
really
good.
good, yeah,
I
really
shoot
good point
better with
guard.
him than any other pink diamond or diamond I have on my team.
Yeah, I do
Insane.
too. Someone in my last stream gave me a start bench cut with Ruby Austin Rivers, Amethyst Jalen Brunson, and the Diamond Michael Adams. Or I think Derrick Rose was factored
I
in there
was in.
somewhere
Yeah,
too.
that's so funny. I was in your stream when he said
Yeah,
that.
and I think you have to go with Jalen Brunson like as your
What?
starting
Oh,
point guard.
1000%. But all
He's
right,
so
I
good.
just want to add that. Keep
No, that
going.
was good. That was good. Yeah, definitely. Again, I say it all the time. I'm not trying to advocate for you guys spending money on this game. All I'm going to say is if you're going to do it, I think the best bang for your buck in my team is the Pro Pass. I say every year I am, or every season since last season, or sorry, since last year, I am pro money spent. I only spend $10 on my team every year or every season so I can get the Pro Pass. That's it. You
Yep.
get some good VC and MT along the way. The last thing, speaking of things you're going to get along the way, 2K revealed rewards that we're going to get for cumulative wins in a Triple Threat Park and Showdown. I'm not going to go through every single win and the rewards. All I'm going to say is the final rewards for each of these game modes. So for Triple Threat Park, and mind you, these have to be completed in Season 2, 500 wins in Triple Threat Park will give you a Hidden Gems 95 plus overall a player, and then you get a Legends badge as well. You get the same exact reward for getting 250 wins of Showdown. I want to ask you, Harry, because I know we talked about this a little bit before. What's your biggest issue
Okay.
with this?
Let me preface many things. One, all right, you might know better than me. So part of Jan's, like, I want to call it our honeymoon phase of my team, where everything was sunshine, lollipops, gumdrops, and rainbows, was
That
season
has yet to
three.
happen for me with this game, but yes, I'm listening.
Oh, in 2K24, I meant.
Oh,
I
yes,
sorry.
yes, 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 yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes,
yeah.
yes, yes, yes,
It's
yes.
2K24 season 3, grinding clutch time offline with the door. You needed 500 wins to get. Was it a Hakeem? Was
Yeah,
that the
Pink
reward?
Diamond Akeem.
How many wins do you need for Triple Threat Online? Was it 250 or something?
I think it was
300. I think it
350.
was 300. I think it was 300.
Yeah, it was under 500 for sure, or it was
Yeah.
exactly 500. I don't
I,
remember exactly. No, it
for
might have
Triple
been
Threat?
less. No, because Triple Threat, was it
Triple Threat was
1,000
3.
wins
No,
for offline or 800 wins for offline? I don't
no, no,
remember.
no. No, I'm talking about online.
No, I'm trying to think because I think it was half of whatever number that was.
No, there's no way it was 5. I think it was like 250 or 300.
Okay, maybe. Anyways, I'm listening. It might have very, very well be less than 500. I hear you. Yes.
It definitely was, because that would have been. It's ridiculous to ask for 500, because I'm saying 500 wins on clutch time offline, which was like a breeze. You're getting like 10 done in an hour. It was something like that. You're getting empty along the way. You can turn your mind off. To do this for 500 wins, like 12 wins online of triple threat every day. And like, again, great concept, horrible execution. I hate going undefeated. I've been asking for this whole time. There should be milestone wins where you're progressing, you're getting stuff as you go on. But the problem is, not only are the rewards not really worth the grind you're putting in, but 500 is such a ridiculous amount where it's homework. You shouldn't have to force yourself to get on to get those 11 wins. Because if you miss a day, you have to get 11 more that next day to catch up. It's too much. And the crazy thing to me is, the first 3 rewards all make sense, and then it goes so downhill. 84 plus 5 wins, awesome. 87 plus 10 wins, great. 90 plus 25 wins, fair, very great.
Yeah.
50 wins, 25,000 MT. We just had 25,000 MT for going 5-0, and now we have to get 50 wins.
Yeah.
An
Good point.
Amethyst player, 75 wins. 50,000 MT, 200 wins, 500 wins, 95 plus. It's absurd. It's too many wins. I wish I had the right stat, but even going to Showdown, Lethal said something where you could play for 3 days straight every minute of the day, winning every game and still not getting the card. It's just too much. Like, they can never find a good balance. And to me, I feel like that's what 2K is doing. It's either you're sweating your life away, you're playing online every second of the day, or you're spending money. They don't want this to be an easy grind. And it shouldn't be, but again,
Yeah.
it's just not doable. Like, I'm not gonna do this. I don't want to. Like, I'll maybe attempt it, especially in triple threat. I'll try it on current gen. I'm not. To imagine how long it's gonna take, especially in the park, to have
Oh,
to
I
wait
know.
for games.
Yeah.
It's so absurd. Like, again, Like all they have to do is just give like it could have been 200 wins. It could have been anything better. I'm glad they're giving us, milestones where it's not just undefeated, but like the rewards are just not worth the amount of wins you need to get. So it's just again, good concept, but like I don't want to say terrible execution and make it seem like this is like on accident. This is like I said, it's on purpose. They want this to be so hard to the point where you don't want to do it. So you're like, I have to spend money.
Yeah.
But I don't. It's disappointing. And if this is really all we get, and there's no sense of grind for, there should be a grind for breakout too. Like the fact that we're not even getting that is
Yes.
just, it's so ridiculous. So again, I really have problems with everything. But it just I find it so funny that like the first three wins make sense, and then literally four and beyond, the rewards do not match the amount of work you're putting in.
No, not at all. So the only thing I'm going to say, because the original question I'd asked you, and you did answer it, was what's your one major gripe with the
All of them.
ladders, right? Yes. My major gripe is the final point that you made, which is you have these two things in here, these two grinds for Triple Threat Park and Showdown, and my question immediately was, well, where's the ladder for the offline grinders? Where's the breakout? Or not even that, even for the more casual, because how did they market salary cap to us in that very first blog? Salary cap was basically, and I'm paraphrasing here, the more casual, laid back online experience, right? You're not bringing your God Squad. You guys know the premise of salary cap. I'm not going to break it down for you guys. But you notice how the two game modes that they put these ladders into, one of them you have to wait around to play a game, then the other one is going to be the sweatiest game mode, right? Showdown. We don't have ladders in salary cap. Now, mind you, salary cap actually got updates to their game mode in season one. We had that 90, I think the 90 plus gems of the game or hidden gems card for getting 2,500 or 25,000 points, whatever that magic number was. It's like roughly playing 25 or 30 games of salary cap will get you that card, which is good. We're going to need to see more updates like that in salary cap to keep that game mode afloat. But we need more grinds and breakout. My last closing statement I'm going to make about this is I saw this tweet and my immediate response was, this is 2K's way of trying to get the casuals, the people that are not playing Showdown and not playing Park, to go and play those game modes. I think namely Showdown, because I mean I know Park there's a lot of emphasis. It's their brand new game mode. They want to have a lot of engagement on it, but I feel like 2K is trying to incentivize people to play their game by putting all these win totals in there, and I do give them credit for not making them win streak related.
One
But
1,000%,
but
yes.
putting all these win totals in there with these somewhat flashy rewards towards the end, and I just think that's the wrong way of going about it. I've talked about it on this channel a bunch, and I'm not going to talk too long because now, just like you, Harry, I can feel my voice is starting to die a little bit over here. I really think the method that 2K has used in the past and has worked in the past to get people that really don't want them to necessarily play online, make them feel like their team is competitive enough to play online, is by giving us better rewards offline. Or if
Yeah,
you want to give us the same low tier rewards, give us those same low tier rewards at a higher frequency, hence the mini games. Give us
and
an
yeah,
ability to compete. You know what I mean?
and let me say one more thing.
Sure.
I think what frustrates me about this community is that like I think 2K knows what sounds great in spirit. We get a 10-pack box for grinding agendas. You immediately see people on Twitter raving, "Oh, we get a 10-pack box. Who cares if you don't get a good pull? That's such a great
It
reward."
never made
But
sense to me.
when you think about it, is it a great reward? You get 50,000 MT from 200 games of triple threat. Oh my god, 50,000 MT. That's so much. That's so cool. That's 250 MT per win. If you do the math, it's terrible. So I think it's a skill that what 2K is doing, but it's again, how many people on Twitter did you see today raving about this because the rewards look great? But when you really think about it, like it's not worth the time, that you're spending playing the game. So again, it's like obviously I'd rather this than having to go 10-0, 20-0, whatever it is. Because even the 90 plus for 25 wins, like that's a nice milestone to hit. But like it's just ridiculous. And it's stressful. Like you shouldn't have to
Yeah.
stress about like, oh, I have work, I have this, I have that. Now I have to come home and get my 11, 12 games to not only games, you have to win. You have to get
You have to
12
win them.
wins. That could take hours. The 250 wins, if you even do that, you're just psychotic. I don't care. I'm saying that now. Like I genuinely feel bad for you if you complete that. Like it's just so bad. Like I just
Yeah, no, I mean, I
Uh,
totally agree. Well, one other thing I want to throw in really, really quickly because you were talking about the win streak stuff like that, and when you were talking about Hakeem, it reminded me, with Hakeem, there's one very, I think, clear difference when you look at the way 2K is doing these ladders, like for tomorrow, for you guys it'll be today for the start of season two, versus the way 2K treated grinds last year when 2K gave us the grind in season three for whatever it was 500 clutch time games for Hakeem Olajuwon when they did the gauntlets where we had 15-0 in triple threat online to get Chris Bosh. The beauty of those rewards was yes, they were very taxing, but you knew exactly what you were getting. You
yeah.
could
Oh my
grind
God.
those
If yes,
250 wins or 500 wins, whatever it is, in Triple Threat
yeah.
Park and Showdown, respectfully. You could get a pink diamond George McGinnis, and you'll be miserable that you spent all that time grinding for a pink diamond that's genuinely not good. That's my issue. You don't know what you're getting. It's all RNG. It's all a mystery. And those hidden gems packs, they're not equal chance hidden gems packs. The really good pink diamonds, the people that were going
Yes.
into, like, I mean, Harry, I don't know how many of those
Jen,
YouTube
no,
videos
let
you
me,
watch.
because literally, if I playing, imagine playing 250 showdown wins. I'm looking out and getting 95 overall hidden gems Rudy Gobert. It's like,
Yeah,
come on, it's
yeah,
so stupid what they're doing. Again, you're at, I didn't even say that. That's such a great point.
yeah.
If they're advertising it, get your 500 wins and you get like 95. I'm looking at trying to find all the honestly all these 95s look terrible.
I
All
know.
of them.
I
You
know.
know, Daryl Dawkins, Swen Nader, Otis Birdsong, Ricky Davis, Don Buse. All of these are red herrings. There's maybe one or two that you'd want. It's such a terrible grind. And at least before, you know, I think you definitely agree. The Hakeem was like the icing on the cake. You were so happy with the door game and making so much MT
Yeah, and you
that
knew what
I'm
you were
sure
getting. You
you
knew
knew
what
what you
was
were
at
getting,
the end of that
and
door.
the journey was more worth it. You know what I mean? So
Yes,
like,
100%. That MT
and I
set
get
me up for the rest of the year.
exactly. So it's terrible. Like I'm not gonna do this. I feel bad for anyone that cares enough to do it, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. This is such a slap in the face to grinders. It really is, and it just. I think this is the biggest testament to how brainwashed a lot of this community is. That they're, you know, I want to name drop some people, but I'm not going to do it because
I
I
know.
know some of the people who watch don't like it.
No, it's
But
okay.
for the
You
people
you
who are
save
so,
that for the content on your own channel, Harry. You can
yeah,
batch everybody. You can be like that
exactly.
content creator Jan Moses. Let me tell you, he loved the player
But
market,
but
which
for
is
the
not
people who
true.
are and again they're raving, oh my god, 50,000, oh my god, a box. All right, you grind that, and you won't. You just like to talk on Twitter because that's you want people to be excited about the game so you can get views on your channel. Like that's your prerogative. That's fine. But this is not good. There's no defending this.
No, I mean the one thing I'll say is I appreciate that they put something like this in the game, and I think Harry and I are both acknowledging like we don't need that top end reward to be accessible to everyone in the community. It's cool to have a top end grind that's
Exactly.
only
Yep.
there for the people that are gonna grind. Like when I grinded for that Hakeem Olajuwon, it was also kind of nice knowing I'm one of the only people that was able to get him because I was one of the only people that was like sick enough in the head. It just happened to work out that like I was off for like 2 weeks
Right.
in December last year, and I was able to grind out Hakeem Olajuwon during those 2 weeks because it was a staycation, and it was really really nice. Like I like doing that. I'm not going to be doing this park grind. I'm not going to be doing this showdown grind, and that's okay. It's not for me. I kind of wish they did put something for me by giving me a ladder and breakout. And we'll see. I think the main reason we wanted to do quick hitters tonight with the season two stuff is because I think there's a chance we go into the game this weekend and they do have some stuff that they did not show on Twitter. The fact that we didn't get a blog, I don't want to say makes me feel optimistic, but I'll say that it makes me feel like I can't necessarily close the door on, okay, we're not getting anything added to Breakout because I don't think that's true. They
Right.
can't neglect a game mode that they introduced into the game this year in season two. Do you have any closing remarks, Harry, before we get on out of here?
Yeah, I would just say for everybody, like I advise you not to do this. I think it's just not worth it. You're bound to get a player you probably don't want. But I will say, and I'll say this for you too, like I do recommend, especially if you're gonna do this on current gen, because I think which sucks, I know, but having to play that park and wait games, like I think getting 100 wins, getting that diamond hidden gems pack from Triple Threat is not a horrible way to go. If that, I would
No,
set
I
that as a
agree.
goal for someone who doesn't want to really play this. Like that's what I'm doing. After I get that diamond pack, I could care less what happens afterwards. So I would, and on the way you get an amethyst gem of the game, you get 25,000 MT, a 90 plus overall premium pack. So Like I think 100 is the way to go, and I think even if they would have capped it at 100, it would seem so much better. But just seeing that end game of 500 wins for an awful reward that's not worth it is, it makes it worse. So that's my recommendation. But yeah, I don't know. End it like I said that I'm disappointed, but I'm happy if this takes away from having to go undefeated. But like the rewards have to be better, offline needs to be treated better, and there needs to be better rewards that match. 200 wins should not be 500,000, MT. Like it has to be better. So,
Definitely.
yep, that's it. I guess we'll see how season 2 goes. I'm sorry that this has been such a tangent of so many different things this podcast,
It's
but
okay.
so many thoughts. There's so many things to talk about.
I know.
Um,
I'm ready for this upload to take me like 2.5 days because we're about to hit the hour-and-a-half mark on this
Jesus
recording,
Christ.
which is
And it
incredible.
took like an hour at least to even get this going. So,
I know. No, we did a lot. We did a lot. Harry, I appreciate you. Look, ultimately, I think the both of us, we just want this game mode to be
yeah,
more engaging and more rewarding. That's
exactly.
it. We've talked about how they can do that in the past and in this pod, and we'll talk about it more in the future for sure. I would just say to the community, I hope you guys enjoy this kind of content. I know we have some people in the Broth Cindy community. Shout out Mr. Clutch, always is the first to say that he loves the long form content. I appreciate you, and I appreciate all of you guys that give all the content on this channel a chance, including these podcasts. I know Harry and I really enjoy doing them, and it's really
Mhm.
tough for the two of us to get our schedules to line up. And then even when we get it to line up, I have technical issues usually on my end. But I think we have a workflow that for now works.
Yes.
We'll
And next
see.
time we'll have a better outline. Not that this wasn't bad, but I think there are so many things to talk about. It would have been impossible regardless of what we did
No, I
to
think we did a
get.
really good job. I mean, I like
Okay,
that we
okay.
did a draft, and I think we
The
got through
draft was good.
season one
Yeah.
pretty quickly, and then season
Mhm.
two we kind of tried to do quick hitters, and it kind of went on a little bit longer. There are other things we can work on in terms of like structure and fluidity of the pod and everything like that with like the itinerary for future pods. But I think at least for this one, look, it's our first pod back. We haven't recorded a pod I think since the very beginning of like I should say
Yeah.
the end of 2K24 before the start of 2K25 because we talked about that blog. So we'll try to do more of these going forward. I'm going to be streaming either later on today when you're watching this video or on Saturday. I have to see. I'm not really sure what I want to do because part of me kind of wants to just jump into the game on Friday and try to like discover different things. I want to mess around with Breakout. I know there was a
Oh yeah.
massive finding with Breakout. Shout out Most Ballin for putting out that video today on the method to get the different portals. I did not think about that at all. I've had multiple portals pop up and I've never really thought about it, but it makes sense now. But I want to dive into Breakout more tomorrow or for me tomorrow, for you guys today, when season 2 launches to see if they added anything else new. As always, Harry, I appreciate you. Thank you for saving 90 plus minutes. Actually, more like 2.5 hours of your day to talk to me because we had to troubleshoot so much. And I really hope you guys enjoyed once again. This is Jan Moses. I appreciate you all. And until next time, we're signing out. Peace.